Hi Rob, we're busy couple of weeks coming up for Crawley Town in terms of matches. You've got Bolton on Saturday. How's the squad looking heading into that?
Yeah, good. Got a couple of niggles, a couple of illnesses, but other than that, no, pretty good. Everyone should be okay for Saturday. We just want to continue where we've left off in terms of the Mansfield and especially the Wrexham game, because I thought it was excellent. Obviously, we know how the game ended, and sometimes it doesn't go for you, but I think that shouldn't take away from what was a fantastic performance. And I think we just want to keep on with that, because I think if we keep those levels of performances, then I know, we know the points will come with that. So it's really important to me that we don't let them levels drop. And going to Bolton, it's going to be a tough game anyway, because the size of the club and the players they've got, and obviously the new manager's first game at home is going to obviously be probably a bit of an intense atmosphere. So we're going to have to manage that. But ultimately, it's just about us and us moving forward with how we want to.
And what sort of game are you expecting from Bolton? I suppose it's difficult when they've got a new manager. But what sort of side are they, from what you've seen?
They're a very good side, They've been up and around the top of the league all season. They've obviously got a very experienced manager, a very good manager who likes to play good football, so I think it'll be a really good footballing game. They've obviously got some players like Collins, Randall, for example, they took from Peterborough, who can really hurt you. So we need to make sure that we're at it both with and without the ball. But again, I think we're getting to the point now where yes, we'll obviously respect every opponent, and we want to make sure that we'll work during the week to nullify what we think we can. But we've got to really concentrate on what our strengths are and go out and perform the way we have done, like we did the last two games, because they're the levels that I expect, and I think those are the levels we've got to demand from each other. You get what we should have ultimately picked up a point at least against Wrexham. But that's where the performances always equal the points, in my opinion. And the one time it goes against you is usually a one-off, because the performances are there. So that's what we're aiming for Saturday, and then obviously leading us into a busy period.
And going back to the Wrexham game, we all know how, like you said, how it ended. Does sort of like an injustice, if you want to call it that, sort of galvanise the team a bit more, and can you use that as motivation, sort of world against us kind of attitude?
I think we have to, really, because it's always tough against Wrexham are sort of the celebrity team in this league. They have all the money and the power, and even just with the two strikers who played for them and the likes of Fletcher coming on, etc. You're up against it anyway, and then a decision like that goes against you. We've obviously had feedback from the PGMOL, obviously saying it should have been a foul. We all knew that anyway, but so the lads have, we can't feel sorry for ourselves. We've got to use that and harness that in the fact that if we consistently perform the way we did, 9 times out of 10 you get points, you get wins and stuff. So and the consistency from it. So that's what the key thing is for us, is the performance levels. The performance levels have to be maintained from that big run up until Christmas, and then from after Christmas now we need to keep that levels and consistency.
And then on Tuesday you've got Stevenage at home, and it's the start of 3 home games in a row, 2 of them being your games in hand. Is it do you see it as a season defining sort of week coming up, or?
Yes and no. I think the most important thing is that we concentrate in terms of picking up points. I think there's no point in putting added pressure on ourselves in terms of winning the games. We all know the situation we're in. We need to win every game. We want to beat Bolton, we want to beat Stevenage, we want to beat Wigan, Wickham, whoever it is that comes. So we'll attack every game to win the game, and all we can do is prepare for Saturday, try and win the game, reassess after, and then prepare for Tuesday. So yes, every game is must win in my opinion, but that should be the case no matter what, whether you're top of the league, bottom of the league, or whatever part of the season you're in. And hopefully I think now we can really understand that the last few games, the way we played and the pressure we put on teams and the results we've got, we need to now use that as a catalyst to have a belief to go on and get more and turn better performances into more points.
And Monday we saw the transfer window shut. You happy with where the squad at? And is there any sort of position you kind of wish you'd sort of strengthened a bit more in, or I suppose that you're always wishing you could strengthen more, but are you happy with where the squad's at after the window shut?
Yeah, no, listen, the lads that we've got in have been absolutely brilliant. Obviously Liam was someone we sort of was I know it wasn't released on deadline day, but obviously I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago and that was all pretty much done. I think it was more a case of his visas and stuff, so right. I think look, we'd like to have added a couple more, and obviously I put the names forward that or put players forward and stuff, but put players forward that we would have liked, but obviously it's not as simple as that, especially with where we are in terms of the finances, etc. So I'm sure Eben and Preston worked hard to try and get the right bodies in. But the biggest thing for me is that this squad here that we've got has shown that we've got the quality and we've got enough to go and compete and give ourselves the best opportunity. So look, selfishly, you always want more, and I think that's any manager. Any manager would say that. But we wanted more to add to this group because we've really come to have a great connection with this group, and we have lost a few players, but we've brought in good quality in my opinion, and I think that all we need to do now is concentrate on continuing the performance levels, because the new players have come in, and Coxey obviously starting, Cammy coming off the bench, Rory making his first appearance Saturday. They're adding to the squad, adding to the culture, adding to the group, and we just need to make sure that we concentrate on that and that we galvanise as much as we can to give ourselves the best opportunity, because there's not been much that we've let ourselves down a couple of times, but overall I think it's been really positive in terms of most of the performances and whatnot. So we need to make sure that we concentrate on that and continually getting better and pushing the club forward.
And just talk about Armando. Obviously there was a sort of transfer saga, if you will, a lot of confusion over that with what was put out there by different people. He's staying at the club, which is obviously great news. How is he doing? Because it must be, from a player's point of view, that must have been a very disruptive period for him.
Yeah, look, obviously, it was. Obviously, Junior's flown halfway across the world in the last week or so. But he's dealt with it really well. He's been really mature about the situation. Obviously it would have been an amazing opportunity for him, but for one reason or the other it hasn't happened. I'm not really clear on the details, to be brutally honest, but look, he's come in and he's carried on where he left off in terms of being a fantastic human being, and he trained on Tuesday and was a bit leggy for obvious reasons. Unfortunately the downside for us is that he hasn't trained for 2.5 weeks. We need to build him up and make sure we don't put him at risk, because emotionally, physically, mentally he's gone through a lot, so we need to make sure we protect him, especially with the amount of games coming up, and that's the same as everyone in the squad, by the way, with 5 games in 14 days. So but look, having Junior in our squad makes us stronger, and that's definitely the positive. So hopefully today he'll be a bit fresher again, and then tomorrow, and then we can look at where he's at fitness wise for Saturday and obviously Tuesday and going forward. I think the main thing is that Junior's here and he's focused and he wants to do the best he can and help the team. So I think that's just all credit to Junes, because he's a fantastic talent, he's a fantastic lad, and hopefully we can keep continuing his development so that he can help us get to where we want to be, and these huge clubs around the world are still looking at him. Yeah,
and finally, how many times have you watched Brad's goal back?
Do you know what? Brad gets a bit of stick from me, quite a bit, but it comes from a place of love, because when we first come in, he was probably quite frustrated. He wasn't playing loads of games, and he's been in and out. He's been consistent and inconsistent, but he's got so much quality. Like, he genuinely has. And sometimes with Brad, it's about controlling emotions so that he can be stable and allow that quality to come through. Yeah. But Brad's going to have an incredible career, and we're fortunate to get him in here. And part of Brad coming here, his first taste of men's football, his development is on the pitch and off the pitch, but he's a genuine credit. I genuinely love the kid to pieces, I really do. I've got a real soft spot for him, and I think he deserved that goal because his performances have built up, have been really good. What he doesn't do, Brad, is he always trains. He never comes away from training. He loves his football, and I think what you get with a 19-20-year-old is just managing emotions, managing focus to point it all in towards the one direction, which will be to a match day and also for his development. So look, long term, Brad's going to have a fantastic career, and I really hope that he'll look back with his time at this place fondly. But in the short term, I think he'll be a big part of us trying to stay in the division and helping us improve.
Brilliant, thanks Rob. Good luck Saturday.
Cheers.